And the Compas next is Chargers defensive tackle Tito Ogbonnia, obviously drafted out of UCLA. Tito, you just had your rookie season. I know it was cut short, but how are you doing today, and how are you enjoying Radio Row?
I feel really good. Obviously, like you mentioned, my season was cut short, but well on the road to recovery. My knee's feeling better than it ever has, to be honest with you. And I don't think I fully understood how my knee was feeling prior, but now that I have had the surgery and whatnot, I feel a lot better. So I'm looking forward to a full recovery. And Radio Row has been really good. I think like I looked at it last year in LA, like during my draft process, because it was nearby. But it's just a cool experience seeing all these this media out here and talking to some of these people.
Was that your first major injury?
Yeah, like honestly, yeah, it was.
Did it kind of take you back a little bit? Like, because I mean, I know some players have said it before, like that they feel indestructible, and once you get that first major surgery, you're like, oh crap.
And it's a game of arm and whatnot, and so you always have that lurk in your back of your head. Not necessarily that you're gonna get injured, but it's like you got to do whatever it takes to prevent that and try to prevent it. So it's something that you understand. But yeah, you're right. Like it kind of did take me back a little bit because like I haven't had anything this severe before, and I haven't had a 9-month recovery or so on and so forth, a major surgery that was, debilitating the way this was. So it's been a process, but to be honest with you, like, I don't think that I can get to where I need to get without having some of these trials and tribulations. To be honest with you, I think this will be like one of the best things that's happened to me, and that's the way I've chosen to look at it. And I'm staying positive that way.
Positivity, Gilbert, that's key.
Yeah, I need to have some more of that. But Otito, when I speak to young NFL players, a lot of them say, hey, it's a setback, it's grueling, but sometimes when you're a younger player, you learn faster from watching the game. You're doing the film study, you're on the sideline learning, you're picking brains, but you still got to get involved by talking to the older teammates. Did you find, just trying to learn the whole mental side of football?
Yeah, like, so I'll put it this way. So when I first got injured, it was obviously devastating. So for mental reasons, I had to like take a step back because I was in the midst of like figuring out like the surgical process and like going through that. And I kind of had to go over like a mini hump. There's a little hump where I was kind of down there for a second, like, damn, I'm not trying to watch football because like it irritates me. I should be out there, so on and so forth. But yeah, like kind of like after that hump went away in 4 or 5 weeks, get back into football, start watching more film, start watching the guys after the games and stuff, and sending guys themselves, and just some of the stuff I like. So
who are some of the older guys you lean on, because you have a lot of talkers in especially in tier D line. Sebastian Joseph Day, you got Fehoko in there.
Yeah.
But who are some of the guys for you?
Those two guys for sure, like interior, like obviously Sebastian, especially a guy who won a Super Bowl, played with the Rams, played with Aaron Donald, so he understands what it's supposed to look like from a true dominant standpoint. So it's a good lean on him. And then some of the other guys who are vocal, like you said, Breiden Fehoko, knowledge, and I take things that he says and I take it with me in the practice field or just in life. And so those are two guys in the interior, and then obviously like Khalil and Joey, like on the edges. I think that it's an understatement like how much their presence helps like young guys like myself, because you see what they're doing at the highest level, you see what they do on a daily basis, and you take from that. Like you see, oh, this guy's doing this, he's doing this for his body, he's doing blah blah blah. And so you try to like take part in that, and you look at the way they move, like I want to move like that. I see what he's doing there. So
players have found that the one guy they would never give the aux cord to is Breiden Fehoko. Why has he gotten that stigma in the Chargers locker room?
I think he's a little erratic sometimes with his aux cord music. Like sometimes he might play a banger, and then sometimes it's like, what the heck are you playing? And I think that's why, like, the inconsistency. So I think a lot of people said that, but there's also people who said they would give it to him. And I think because of that reason, like, they don't know what Breiden we're getting today.
Yeah.
So that's why they're like, don't give it to him.
Tito, when we talk about, in 3 months from now, a year ago, that are you sitting at home and that phone vibrates on draft day and were you at home on draft day?
Yeah, I was at home.
You saw that phone vibrate. What was that feeling like for you?
Man, it was crazy. So like story, when I took a visit to the Chargers, I remember calling my mom after. I think I called both my parents, and I was like, I think we're in the Chargers. Like, I was like, look, I think this is a spot. Like, I don't know if I said verbatim, I think I'm going there, but I'm like, this is the place I want to be. And I'm like, if I get drafted, it'll be a dream come true. And I didn't expect that going in, honestly. Like, when I'm taking my visits, I'm just kind of taking them as they come. And the Chargers definitely mentally set themselves apart, like in my head, when I took that visit, and I felt comfortable, and I felt like this is the place I needed to be at. And so when I got that call and I saw the area code, I said, "Oh my gosh!" Like this is, and I knew the Chiefs are coming up on the pick, and I was like, "This is crazy." Because I didn't, in a weird way, I didn't think I was going there, and in another way, I was like, "I think I'm going there." So
it worked out for you, man. UCLA. It's, not moving too far, Westwood, Orange County,
easy
but
relocation.
There you go. But Otito, I want to ask you about Brandon Staleys' defense. A lot of people say, it's kind of, complicated, maybe because a lot of this guys have different kind of personnel formations and all that. But you probably know it better by now. How was that process to learn that scheme? And I know for the last part you weren't there, but then also to see your teammates flourish in it at the end of the season and get to the playoffs, was that pretty nice to see as well?
So the way I look at it is that I came in as a young guy, as a rookie, obviously. And I didn't know what I didn't know. So I couldn't tell you that it was complicated. This is just what it was. We were installing a defense, and I was learning it, and that's all that was to me. Like, I took it as it was. Obviously, there's some concepts a little bit more tougher than others, but at the same time, I was a rookie, so that was, to come. Like, I understood that. So I didn't really feel like it was complicated. I mean, I didn't have anything to compare it to. Like, I had my high school, my college defense, obviously, but, like, I wasn't going to compare a college defense to an NFL defense in terms of difficulty. Really hear much from other guys about how complicated it was. I think it does have a lot of moving parts. A lot of people have a lot of specific jobs that need to get done. Things need to get done a certain order for us to succeed. And I think you saw that down the stretch, like in the second half of the season. Some of the more dominant performances by offense, and that was cool to see. It was tough because I wasn't out there.
Tito, another aspect of you is you like to cook.
Yeah.
How is that improved from? Because I know we talked about it during the draft, but now how has that improved in this last year? The cooking.
It's definitely improved. Like I feel like I've had a lot more time to do it. Like in college, I think I was in class and stuff, and I had a lot of time. So a lot of my free time has been dedicated to cooking, especially baking. I'm baking a bunch for the team, and getting a lot of requests there. I knew once I started, I'd probably get flooded. But it's been going well. Like I've been enjoying it. I've been have time to like work on my craft, especially because I have a lot of downtime in the off season. So I've been partaking a lot of that, creating some new recipes and really trial and error and getting some stuff done. So
I know I'm going to make the guys hungry, but I got to ask, what are some of the things that you've been baking or making?
I've been working on a new like key lime pie recipe. This recipe is only a little bit different because it's like a spice crust, and like to get the right like combination of spices for it is kind of key because you don't want to overpower like something like a key lime pie with too much ingredients, and you don't want it to be too sweet because that key lime is also really sweet and filling. And then right now, something that I think that's truly difficult for me, and I've been working on for like probably a year now, is a true croissant. Most people haven't had a real croissant, to be honest with you, and to make real croissants, very difficult, and to make them really well is difficult. So that's something I kind of been working on and been enjoying that process. Like it's frustrating sometimes, but that's why I like it because a lot of it is meticulous work, and there's a little bit more of an elegance to it. I think when you cook, like you can mess up, you can season here and take this out and put some sauce on that, and it still tastes good. But baking, you mess up at any point, and it'll kind of mess up the entire recipe. So,
Tito, not to think about it, I think you're the one that cooked on Thanksgiving Day for your teammates at UCLA.
Yeah.
Were you forced to cook for the Chargers, the players, and did you ever try the victory brisket from Justin Herbert?
I have not tried this brisket, and I remember telling him that I need to try it because he made it I think twice in season. The first thing I think I made from anybody there was actually made it for Justin. I had a bet with him versus the Oregon game. Or UCLA versus Oregon. Whoever wins that game, I thought I was going to make him a tiramisu. And obviously Oregon won that game, so I made it for him. And then that like spiraled into like me baking a ton of other stuff for other guys. So by request, yeah.
Any traveling you're going to be doing? Anything you got planned?
I'm pretty sure I'm in Hawaii for Breiden Fehoko's wedding.
Oh wow!
So shout out to Breiden Fehoko for getting married.
I hope the music is better than what he has on the aux board.
No, I can't wait to see him. I think he's such a funny guy, and so I can't wait to see him in that environment when he's supposed to be serious in front of friends and family. So it should be interesting. But yeah, I think I'm going to Hawaii for that. I don't think I'm going anywhere. I kind of got to stay, sticking to my rehab, and even me being out here right now, it's long. But I have a process I do even out here, but. I can't be gone for too long because I want to be back for the season, obviously, in tip-top shape. be back where I was.
Last question, or two more questions, quick ones. This Sunday or this weekend, you're going to be doing a cooking event. Can you explain to us what you're going to be doing and how excited are you for that?
Yeah, so a lot of the top chefs around the country are coming, like the likes of Bobby Flay, big time
Wow.
guys are coming down, hosting the event. It's a top-notch event. It's essentially kind of like a tailgate almost, and there are going to be tons of good eats, obviously, and chefs are going to be around, and we're participating as football players to bring more attention to like the NFL, like the cooking aspect of NFL, like the tasty NFL and some of the unique stuff they have there.
Do you need any judges? Because I think all three of us would be okay being judges.
Yeah, that'll work. That would work.
Exactly. Well, Tito, last one. Who you got this weekend?
I got the Eagles. And the reason is having played the Chiefs and obviously watched them, I think the Chiefs aren't as complete as they need to be, especially going into a Super Bowl. I think that the Chiefs are a little bit deficient in special teams, and I think that's a big factor, in especially a game of Super Bowl, because everything's tight. Everybody's playing a top-notch game. You can't have those errors and stuff in the Super Bowl. And I think the defense, no shade, but I don't think that Kansas City's defense has played as well as people try to make them out to seem. I think they've been average at best, and they have a freak guy of nature in Patrick Mahomes. So he's really helped them. He's saved them. He's put that team on his back along with Kelsey, and so I think that the Eagles will really stretch this one out.
That is Chargers defensive tackle Tito Ogbonnia. Thank you so much for joining us, Tito, and I hope the rehab goes better, and I hope you have a lot of fun that Breiden Fehoko's winning.
I will.